You're driving down the road, and you hear this weird sound. What would you do? If you're like me, you'd take that car to the mechanic and get it checked out. Most people would. None of us wants to be driving down the freeway only to suddenly have our wheels fall off. None of us would say, I hope, let's just give it a few hundred miles, see what happens. But that's exactly what we do with our bodies, and specifically our joints. Now, how many of you have heard your knees make some weird sounds? Raise your hand. If your knees are anything like mine, you've heard them click and grind. But when our knees make weird sounds, why is it not by any means our first reaction to pick up the phone and make a doctor's appointment? Instead, we just ignore these sounds for years and even decades until we literally have to change our wheels. I mean our knees. According to the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, nearly half of all American adults will develop knee osteoarthritis in their lifetime. Although it's not life-threatening, chronic knee pain restricts movement, keeps us out of the activities we love, and reduces our overall quality of life. For 1 million Americans a year, the pain is so bad that they have to get their knees replaced. That number is expected to more than triple to 3.5 million by the year 2030. More and more of us are running our knees into the ground until they have to be replaced. I'm well on my way to being part of that statistic. I play competitive recreational tennis. And at 6'8", 320 pounds, tennis puts an enormous amount of strain on my knees. My knees aren't that healthy to begin with. In college, I strained my knees a lot by being a competitive discus thrower. Now, as a professor and board member for 2 startups, I just sit in some long meetings. Except I have to sit in what feels to me like a kid-sized chair. Now, when you're 6'8", 320, pretty much any chair feels like a kid-sized chair. But I have to sit scrunched up like that, and by the end of it, my knees are hurting. I remember one meeting in particular, lasted 8 hours. I sat there, stuffed into the tiny chair all day, only to have to sit some more on a packed subway ride home. And it was that day that I came up with the idea. Maybe we can use the sounds of the knees as an indicator of their health. Now, I'm an electrical engineer by training, and I led the design and development of tiny microphones that are used in Hollywood films, Broadway theaters, and events all over the world. Together with the head of the company, we won a Technical Academy Award for our designs. So the idea of using sound was natural and logical for me. Now I lead a team at Georgia Tech that's designing wearable systems to sense the sounds and vibrations of the body, like knee sounds, and using AI to detect early signs of disease, like osteoarthritis. The joint pain we feel today is the result of years of repetitive activities and strain that build up. We don't feel the pain until it's really far advanced. Our lab is working on giving information to doctors that they can use for better, more customized patient therapies. What makes it really difficult is, as you know, and all of us know, too much running can really strain our knees. But doctors don't have a tool to tell us when our knees are first becoming overworked. So we're working on trying to use joint sounds to detect that moment in time when our knee health first takes a turn for the worst. By doing so, our rationale is doctors could provide patients with information, just like they do blood pressure and heart rate, that patients can then use, if they want, to take preventative measures and safeguard their knees and avoid potentially replacement surgeries. This would mean a more healthy and active lifestyle for all of us in our 50s, 60s, and 70s. But we ran into some major obstacles quickly. First of all, we were a bunch of engineers and didn't know the least bit about knee anatomy. We didn't know the femur from the tibia, and I had to remind myself how to say the word meniscus by saying, kind of sounds like the word discus. It's like a discus sitting there inside your knee. Second, although the idea of measuring sounds of the knee for health dates back nearly 100 years, very little was understood about these sounds and how they relate to underlying joint health. Fortunately, I had some collaborators in applied physiology that had the great idea of using cadaver limbs to help us better understand these sounds. Now, you can imagine, though, when I first brought up the idea of using cadaver limbs to my team of engineering students, that didn't go over so well. Wait, what are you telling? You're telling me you want me to put microphones around the knee of a dead person's leg? Yes, but how is the leg going to move in the first place to make sound? You want me to use my hands to move the leg? Yes. I didn't sign up for this. Well, the truth is none of us signed up for it, but it worked. We successfully created a wearable brace with sensors to detect the sounds from the knee when the person moved. This is a prototype version of our brace from the lab. There are special microphones in the brace that detect only the sounds from the knee and not other sounds like background noise. The sensors are placed in the soft tissue to the left and right of the kneecap. There are electronics in the brace that capture the signals from these sensors and store them. When the user extends and flexes his knee, we're able to capture the sounds and record them. Let's give a round of applause for Chris. Now, let's listen to some of the sounds. These are the sounds from a 37-year-old man with healthy knees. He's extending and flexing his leg, and as he does, we're recording the sounds that are generated from the knee. These are the sounds from a 37-year-old man with osteoarthritis. He's had multiple prior knee surgeries. He's unable to play sports or run on his left leg. He has to go to physical therapy regularly just to keep his knee functioning, but still he has instability. The crackling and grinding sound you hear is from the frictional rubbing inside of the joint. We have a way to record knee sounds and even to begin cataloging them as good and bad sounds. But what makes it really difficult to predict knee health from sound is that everyone's knees sound different. To accurately predict knee health from sound, we have to compare a particular knee's sound against a universal library of knee sounds. But this universal library doesn't exist, so we're creating it, one knee at a time. To achieve our vision of a universal benchmark, a vital sign for the knee, we're also developing AI to analyze, organize, and catalog the sounds. The cadaver work we did at the beginning certainly helped. We were able to make an injury in the knee and measure the sounds before and after in the very same knee. Now we're collecting data from patients at multiple different clinical sites, both here in Atlanta and across the country. As our AI is trained on larger data sets, it'll become more accurate and also more generalized for a wide variety of patients of different ages and different joint conditions. I'm especially proud of the progress we've made in detecting arthritis in kids. In this area, our AI has already shown that it can detect the disease with 88% accuracy. We envision a future where all of us can stay active and mobile for longer and keep doing the activities we love. A future where the effects of arthritis in kids are minimized because doctors are able to detect and treat the disorder as soon as possible, heading off damage that can lead to replacement surgeries. And for me personally, a future where I can not only keep playing tennis until I'm older, but maybe I can also pick up a discus again and throw it every now and then with my kids and one day my grandkids when coaching them. Thank you.